how's things change in Valley play as far as style of play? You always talk about how physical it is, pace, those kind of things. Do you kind of prepare for that, or is it just something that happens and you deal with it?
I really don't know. This will be our first Valley game, of course, and with the new rules, who knows what it's going to be like. I mean, or the new emphasis, I should say. Generally, teams know each other better. They're familiar with the style of coaching, familiar with some of the athletes from the year before. So,
and does that have, if it does, better scouting and those kind of things, does that present some particular challenges for Deshaun, who's going through it for the first time? How does he kind of counter and deal with, things changing?
He's just going to have to go, play and be aggressive and assertive and smart, and run our team and play defense, rebound, gather loose balls. I really don't know how it would affect him.
How's Shaq? Do you have a thought on him?
I don't know. I haven't seen him today. He did not practice yesterday. He was on the bike and did some conditioning and did some shooting. So that's what I know.
Indiana State has graduated a lot of good people in the past couple of years. They've written Scott back. What's going to be the most difficult thing about stopping him?
Well, he's a dynamic scorer. He's averaging 19 plus a game. He can shoot it from distance. He can drive it. Gets to the foul line. Just can't lose your discipline defensively against him. It's going to be 2 or 3 points, depending on where he is. You got to stay locked in and force him to take a lot of shots to get his points. He's going to score. I mean, he can make difficult shots, but you can't get discouraged and let something on the offensive end affect your defensive intensity on him.
He's pretty unpredictable. He'll take some bad shots. Is that hard to scout and prepare for because he's kind of out of the norm in that way?
Well, I mean, he can make difficult shots. He's talented. He's very skilled. You want to force him to take contested shots, not any just rhythm threes or open looks, getting to the rim uncontested, those type things. You don't want to have that happen. So, again, just be locked in. There'll be multiple people guarding him, and then everybody's responsible for him when he's coming off ball screens and in transition.
Is there anybody besides him that catches your eye?
Well, they've got other good players. Murphy's a big. He's like Shaq but bigger, a little more athletic. And then Van Soik really shoots the ball well. He can't let him get going behind the arc. And Everett Clemens, those guards, they're tough. They're very competitive. They get loose balls. They offensive rebound. They drive it to the basket. They post up a little bit. So they've got other good players.
What are the things that this team needs to do to be successful in this game and in conference play in general that you've learned in non-conference play?
Well, I mean, we have to defend well. We have to rebound well. We have to take good shots. Let the offense generate some good shots, and when it doesn't, you have to go make some plays. We've got to be tough. We've got to be smart. All the things that you have to do to win a basketball game.
There are always going to be those guys that are really good in practice, and maybe in case you don't step up as much in a game situation. Landry had an amazing game. What is the best way to help these guys really excel in a game type matchup?
Well, just practice. Practice makes perfect. whether they want to believe it or not, the time spent in the gym, getting reps in a competitive situation makes you better for the next time you face a competitive situation. And we'll obviously try to replicate what Indiana State does and with our scout team, but we won't be as good as they are in doing it in a couple of days. So, but you just have to work. You have to get in the gym. And Landry wasn't shooting the ball well, but he's a guy that works. He's very conscientious and gets in the gym. And so it was good to see him have some success, as well as Connor, get the ball, go through the net a few times and get their shooting percentage back up.
You had mentioned that there was missing that guy like Evan who would get down and get those loose balls. Do you feel like you saw more of that in South Dakota State? And has anybody really started doing that more for you?
As a general rule, I don't think we have anyone like Evan Wessel. I mean, he was just a different breed of player. He was a throwback. He was a very, very tough, very, very team-centered guy, and he wasn't looking for points or stats or accolades. He was just trying to help his team win, and we find value in that. But I don't think there's anybody on this team is good, but that doesn't slight this team, because I don't know if I've had anybody in 19 years of coaching that was any better at getting a loose ball. I mean, he was probably as good as you're going to find. You could, we used to joke, or I used to say, you could have the other 9 guys, and I'll take Evan on a loose ball, and I think I'll have a better chance to get the loose ball than you do. So it's not an indictment on this team. It's just it's a compliment to Evan.
What's your assessment of how prepared your guards are through the non-conference portions?
How prepared our guards are. We're 10-3. They've had their moments. Obviously, there's things that we would like to see them do better. Some games they're better than others in shooting the ball. Some games they're better than others in defense and checking down and doing the little things. But I think overall, probably if I had to grade our guards, the 4 or 5 guards that we play at the 1 and the 2, I would give them a B.
Is this about where you expected them to be heading into conference play?
Well, I didn't really have a crystal ball on it. I just want to get them better every day. That's the goal with this team all along. For the most part, we'll have these guys back next year and have no seniors, so I just want to keep getting better.
When Connor's willing to drive, do those things, what's that add to the offense, to his game?
Well, I mean, it gives an opportunity to get a layup. There's generally, for most players, it's easier to make a layup than it is a 15-footer, and then it's a lot easier to make a layup than it is a three-pointer. So it just puts a little more pressure on the defense to have to guard another facet.
Marcus had mentioned last week that when someone does step up and become the vocal leader on this team, that the team will get better. How important in your mind is it that someone steps up to become that leader sooner than later?
I think we're a little better at it today than we were last week, and maybe a lot better than we were maybe a month or 2 ago. It's still not where you want it to be, but again, it falls under the same category. You just got to keep getting better. You got to keep asserting yourself, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and telling people the truth, and trying to get us as a collective unit to be better.
For a couple more.
You look at this team, there's maybe a lot more room to grow than maybe the last couple of years, just because they're, the makeup of the roster, the newness.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, we're still we've got guys that are just at the very beginning of their college careers with us, and we could get healthy. We could get 100% healthy, which we haven't been. We could get Daryl and Deshaun and Austin and even CJ better as this goes along. And the longer, if Shaq's out, you maybe get some contributions from Eric and people like that. So there's opportunities. There's opportunities for them to grow individually, and if they get better individually, then we'll get better collectively. You guys have any easy questions today? These have all been real deep questions.
How excited are you to start conference play?
I can't wait, man. I'm going to start just running to the airplane as soon as you guys are done with me.